the sadness again and again. I think Ajahn is here, so I'll just check if Ajahn is here so that we can all start together. Ajahn, are you here now?
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ everyone
Sawadika, Ajahn. John, who lives in Wales, and we used to know him in Sydney, so he's a very good friend. This is his first time joining the Zoom discussion. He came to one of our discussions before in Manly, but he's not familiar with any of the Pali terms, so we can try to keep it in simple English as much as possible for his benefit to start with.
Sorry to
And
be a pain, or I hope that's okay.
thank you. Anyway, I'll also put comments in the chat if it's helpful. Yes. And we were just saying that we appreciated the reminders yesterday during the service in Thailand, Ajahn, about this moment, because we all cling to the long stories. We have the shock, the sadness because of the passing away of our dear friend. And so quickly we forget about this moment, about seeing now, hearing now, thinking now, this very moment only. And this is the only real true medicine for such incidents. Otherwise, we just go on thinking and thinking about the story, about this person and that person. Whereas in truth, as we know, there are just moments of seeing and hearing and thinking now. No Sarah now, no Ajahn, no Hang, just different moments of thinking and clinging, bringing so much sadness when it's not the way we would like it. Would you like to add more, Ajahn, for everyone's benefit?
in truth there's no one no thing for example no hang no I no kunsara what is it that can be taken for I or kun hang seeing is just seeing it's common to everyone it is conditioned to arise to see in the ocean, on the land, and everywhere, even right now. It's conditioned to arise. It cannot arise by itself, for sure, because it's a reality which is conditioned to arise to see. It's a reality which experiences an object. Seeing sees what? There must be the object of seeing, right? As hearing hears what? What we take for that which is heard use the term sound, but in truth, even we don't use any term to represent that reality. It's that which is heard in truth. That which is seen now, it's real, it's seen. But without the reality which arises and sees it, it cannot be seen at all. Even sound, if there is no hearing, sound does not appear. Sound has arisen by conditions and it impinges on the ear base. Condition a moment of hearing only that which impinges on the ear base and gone. That's why be true to any reality. For example, to seeing. See, what is seeing? Seeing sees, that's all, no more. So the truth of seeing is just a moment of seeing, and no one sees at all, because it has to be only the reality which arises and experience an object, because it is the reality which experiences. That's why there must be the object which is experienced, like sound now. It's heard, and it is experienced by what we say hearing. So hearing is a reality. Sound is different reality from hearing. Sound cannot hear anything, and hearing has to hear just sound only, and then gone. Where's the sound? Gone. So it means that the reality which experiences sound also gone. That's why sound cannot be heard anymore. And seeing is conditioned just to see, not to think, not to be, not to remember. And hearing is a reality which is conditioned by the ear base and the sound which impinge on the ear base. Condition a moment of hearing to arise to hear that particular sound which impinge on the ear base only. So what we say seeing cannot be longer than moment of seeing. And hearing is just a moment of hearing because it is a reality which hears. That's all. That's all. It means that it's conditioned to arise to hear and then gone. Because its conditions is to arise to hear only and then gone. Is that true? It's not being told, but at moment of hearing any word about right now, hearing right now, seeing right now, no thought about the truth of it at all. It's gone already. Another reality succeeds instantly from moment to moment, and each moment which is conditioned to arise, as soon as it has arisen, it's gone, never to arise again. Not just only today, tomorrow, or this life, but in samsara, never arise again. Absolutely, ultimately gone. See, is a true sound gone? And that which has arisen and gone, never to arise again. Is it true or is untrue? Seeing sees. A cat sees. A dog sees. A snake sees. Can a worm see? See, we call it a worm sees, but in truth, seeing itself does not belong to anyone at all. Without the shape and form, marked and remembered as a cat or dog, seeing is only seeing. It just arises to see. If seeing does not arise, there cannot be seeing. No idea about this reality before, but now we just talk about what are there in life. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking from day to day, from moment to moment. Only 6 doorways of experiencing what is there, just in a moment, only in a moment and then gone, never to arise again. Is that true? Not to believe. But is this life? Life is in a moment. Without seeing, is there life? Hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. So learn to understand what is so real and so true, the ultimate truth. Nobody, no one can do anything or change because each one has its own characteristic by different conditions for its arising. That's why we learn about the truth. The truth is in every moment, but it's unknown because it's never thought about. Just one moment. Just think about the whole day, the year, and what would be in the future and so on. But in truth, that is moment of thinking. So many thinking, conditioned many long time, evening, tomorrow, morning, long time, but without just a moment, very short, conditioned to arise and fall away so very rapidly, succeedingly, very quickly. There cannot be anything now. So each moment is life. Is that true? And it has to be the moment of experiencing an object. Seeing. There must be the object which is seen. But it's so very rapidly from moment to moment, from one dot to many dots, like we turn on the TV, from nothing, just black. There's so many things on the screen instantly. How come? Just one dot at a time. Is this life secretly arising and falling away from moment to moment, never to return at all? Is that true? Just talk about the understanding, the idea of the truth of this moment. We can talk about life in different manners, different aspects. What about the aspect of it's not permanent? Each moment, the moment of seeing is not long because now it seems like there is what is seen all day, even right now. But there's thinking, liking, disliking, on and on. Among the light, so the light is not that which is thought about, which is experienced as the smoke or the sound or the smell or anything at all. Just one reality at a time. Just one very short moment of that which arises and falls away unknowingly, succeedingly all the time. From morning up to now, it's not only one reality lasts, but so many different realities, so very shortly, from moment to moment, so quickly that it's not known, that it's not there anymore. Sound a moment ago is not this moment of sound. It's not sound of this moment at all. Different, see? Gone. Or it's still there? Not at all. So we begin to learn about the subtle truth of every moment, to understand what is taken for life, for people and things. In truth, what is the ultimate truth of only one reality? For example, at moment of touching, the pillow is soft, for example, but hardness is touched. The other reality cannot be touched. The taste cannot be touched, but it can be tasted by the tasting consciousness. So there is consciousness, the reality which arises and experiences the object. If it does not arise, nothing can be known or appear like now at all. So what appears now? What appears now depend on that which experiences it. And that reality is so real because now it sees. Is that right? Is that true?
In other words, John, we're distinguishing between the world of conventional realities, the curtains, the people on the screen, the table, the cushion, and so on, and the ultimate realities that can actually be experienced and understood, the hardness that is touched, the sound that is heard, different from the idea about the voice and the words and the person. So life comes down to the ultimate realities at this moment. And without them, there would be no thinking about the people, the places, the stories, and so on. So this is what is meant by life just existing in a moment. Usually we're lost in all the stories about people and places and so on, with no understanding about the absolute truths at this moment. Did you find it interesting, helpful when listening to Ajahn? Do you have any questions when she was saying, is it true? Does it sound correct to you?
Did you say that to me, Sarah?
Sorry,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, massively grounding, to be honest, just to sort of keep you focused, as you say, on what the reality actually is, and all that you're thinking around that is almost can be white noise. Obviously, it can be positive as well, but it can just be distractions and losing focus on what's true and real, and then everything else around that is kind of very subjective.
Well, the thinking about it, the sound, as you call it, the white noise, is also a reality that's occurring at the present moment. So the point is that there are only the different realities, but a lot of thinking about them. And if I could just elaborate on one point that Ajahn Suchin was making, which you may have found a bit perplexing. When she said seeing does not belong to anybody. Seeing, of course, occurs only in a stream of consciousness. So only beings see, and the seeing of each being is unique to that individual being. So the sense in which it doesn't belong to anybody, though, which Ajahn also explained, of course, is that it is not something that is within anyone's control. In this sense, the faculty of seeing or hearing cannot be switched on and off at will. There is no saying what is going to be the next object of seeing or hearing. We think we have the idea that we can control what is seen and heard, but on a moment-to-moment basis, there isn't that kind of control at all. So that's it. It arises by conditions. It occurs by conditions, and that is the sense in which it doesn't belong to anybody, and it is common. It is common to everyone, but doesn't belong to anyone. And
makes sense.
yeah. The other point that Ajahn made, which is important, is she said that seeing is only momentary. This, of course, is not immediately apparent. Seeing and hearing and all other experiencings are, we are told, momentary rather than continuous and lasting. Our impression so far in life has been that these things are lasting and occurring simultaneously. But the reality is explained by the Buddha was that they are only momentary, and they give the impression of continuity and simultaneity because arising and falling away so rapidly. So there can be different realities, the seeing and moments of seeing, moments of hearing, moments of thinking about what is seen and heard arising intermingled or intermittently, but so rapidly that they appear to be simultaneous and continuous. But we can't necessarily experience the reality of the momentariness of these different realities immediately, but we can consider whether at least it is consistent with our experience in life, whether it's a possible explanation or not, and bear it in mind as life continues. Yeah. And what is the relevance of these details of the present moment? Well, our idea of life is based on how we perceive the present moment, how we perceive the reality of the present moment. So the more there is the understanding of what actually does constitute the present moment, the more understanding there is of the nature of this life. And we, again, we take life to be a blessing, a privilege perhaps. But when it comes down to understanding it in minute detail, seems to be, it has a different appearance than what we have always taken it to be. But perhaps I'll just leave it at that for now. Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Anything you'd like to ask about so far, John?
No, I'm just looking forward to hearing more from John on that last point. You know, in due course, that'll be. I'm really interested to explore that.
Well, one aspect is this, that, as I said, the seeing and the hearing aren't things that are within our control on a moment-to-moment basis. They occur, they happen by conditions. And this means that the same applies to the other realities which constitute the present moment. We haven't discussed all of them, but if that is the nature of this moment of existence, momentary realities arising by conditions, falling away, as Tanajan explained, gone, never to return, then where is the substance? Where is the merit? Where is the refuge in that? And we crave existence. We don't want it to finish. We want to continue. We want more after this existence. But what is that based on? And is it actually for anyone's benefit to hanker, to crave for what is fleeting, momentary, impermanent, and not subject to any control? So that's sort of a summary of it.
And it's so beneficial. We go through life with the illusion that we can control what happens. We can control what occurs during the day. We can control how life will go out. So there's one expectation after another, one disappointment after another. The seeing now, who can control what is seen now, what is heard now? Who can control what is heard now or thought about? So we learn that these different realities arise by different conditions, but are not in the control of an imaginary self. Last week, when we had a discussion, no one had any idea that a week later we would be feeling so sad about the loss of our dear friend. Seeing just sees visible object, and so quickly there is the thinking about the story of the dear one and so on. But it's just a moment of seeing arising by conditions, a moment of thinking arising by conditions, sadness, unhappy feeling arising by conditions. No one chooses or decides to have that sadness or that kind of thinking, but this is life. whatever arises unexpectedly by conditions and is gone instantly. So gradually the understanding about the different realities of life is for the purpose of letting go of the idea of an I that can control, an I that sees, an I that hears, an I that makes decision, an I that keeps one's dear friends forever. It's not possible. Whatever arises, whatever occurs, is by conditions and gone instantly. And I know some friends like Carmen who only just found out about the loss of the friend. So we all go through the shock and the sadness. And I found it so helpful when another close friend passed away in an accident many, many years ago. And Ajahn just reminded me that we think the sadness is for the friend that has passed away, but it's actually for the loss of our own pleasant feeling, because at moments of sadness, there's no metta, there's no kindness, no helping anyone. It's just for oneself, one's own loss of pleasantness. So it's so useful to remember and to reflect on the Dhamma. Actually, it's the most helpful medicine at such times. So, of course, there will be thinking, of course, there will be sadness, but understanding that these are different realities that just arise and fall away. And in truth, as we said at the start, no Sarah now, no Sarah in future. In truth, there was no hung, no hung in future, but we cling to the story, to the idea, and the clinging brings sadness again and again. Would anyone else like to say anything or bring up any topics or questions?
Can I just ask for that then, Sarah, and then I'll be quiet for and let other people speak.
We're glad to hear you talking, John. Priority is always given to the newcomers, so go ahead.
But then, so presumably with that understanding of the here and now, the potential then exists is it to hang on less to those sort of negative emotions that we all don't enjoy, obviously things like sadness and despair and hurt. Is that the thinking that you are then less attached to those emotions because you have that insight into what constitutes the realities that you create?
Hi, John. Maybe I can come in and have a word on that.
Super, thank you.
Yeah, my name's Robert. I've been around for a while too, so good to see you there.
Cheers, Robert.
Well, I'll just turn on my video. I'll remember. I'm in a hotel at the moment. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Hi, John. Yeah. So I think that's more of a side effect. What you were saying about the negative emotions. Yes, definitely that does happen. There would be less negative emotions as one understands the truth, I would say, of the Buddha's teaching. But that's not the real aim. The aim is to understand the moment, as you mentioned, the present moment. So I'll just say that for now. Others will probably have more to say.
Thank you, Robert. Good to see you.
I think it's a good point, because one can think, okay, now I'm studying more about the present moment, so there'll be fewer negative emotions, and then negative emotions arise by conditions, as usual. Understanding gradually leads to less clinging, but it's a long, slow path. But it's true, it is the understanding only that leads to the letting go little by little. And Sylvia, you may have like to add one or two comments. Sylvia is the friend you may remember from Manly. I'm not sure. She had a picture a moment ago, but she's just gone.
Super.
Hi, Sylvia. I don't know if you remember John, who used to swim in Manly, but anyway, how would you summarize the benefit of understanding more about the truth of life
I would say that it gives you a different perspective about life, and you're less inclined to, you know, be swept away by the events and perhaps the stories of life. You're aware of them and you are living them, but at the same time, you have moments of clarity where you realize that everything is momentary and everything is falling away. So there's moments of realities arising, and then there's at times a very clear realization that it has already fallen away. So the story that develops immediately after that, there are times when you can almost remove yourself from it. You kind of experience the emotions, you experience the story, but you kind of also have a different view of what is happening. I don't know if that explains some of it to you, but that's my personal experience. So most of the time we're lost in stories. I'm lost in stories. But from time to time, you just get a moment of clarity that where you realize it's a moment, and that these moments are rising and falling away continuously. They are not one. They are not the one story. They are each individual realities arising one at a time. So I don't know if that helps.
It does. It really does. Thanks, Sylvia. And it links up nicely with what Robert said. So, yeah, thank you a lot.
Okay.
And I think taking up Robert's point and Sylvia's also, of course, understanding life better is its own reward. There will be other positive side effects, such as Sylvia has mentioned. One is less caught up in the stories from time to time, but it's having a better understanding of things for its own sake. That is, the reason for one appreciates, one sees the value in having a better understanding of what, rather than ignorance of what is life. After all, is every moment of experience is a moment of life, and there is so little understanding of its proper nature. So, yeah, thanks.
So life goes on as usual. You go to the hospital, you do your work, we go shopping, we see our friends, we have funeral services in Vietnam and so on, but with more and more understanding about the truth, realities at this moment.
Yes, I think the question you asked also raises an interesting topic that we discuss from time to time, and that is, why is it that one has bad emotional experiences and is caught up in them? And the reason, in short, is that those particular tendencies have been accumulated in the past. So everyone is different in the degree to which, or the things that irritate them, or the tastes they like, taste colors, people that they like or don't like. These are accumulated tendencies that are carried forward from moment to moment and life to life. And these cannot be changed at will. There's another aspect of the inability to control. So having a better understanding of the true nature of the present moment doesn't immediately change those accumulated tendencies. And for this reason, it's not helpful to have expectations about life suddenly becoming easier or breezier, just because there is a better understanding of the reality of the present moment, because it's not possible for that to happen.
And it's so helpful to appreciate that the problems, the causes of the emotional disturbances and so on are not the situations outside, the place, the person, the event, the passing of Hang, and so on. But the cause of the disturbances actually is one's own clinging, one's own ignorance and clinging, which brings about all the grief, all the sadness, all the difficulties in life. So it takes courage to actually face up to the truth that the problems are always come from within, not from outside. Perhaps Ajahn would like to add more or ask you more questions or discuss.
We just talk about the reality which is there right now, unknown before. Is that right? We don't talk about other things. We just talk about what is there right now, unknown before. Seeing is conditioned, but no thought about it. Just thinking about that which is seen from day to day, moment to moment, or about that which is seen or heard or touched or smelled. Is that right? Just learn to understand the ultimate truth of that which is there from birth to death, on and on and on. As long as there is no understanding of the truth, there is more attachment to that which is not there anymore. For example, the sound which is just heard, all gone. But if there is clinging to the sound of music or whatever sound you like, it seems like you like that which has been heard. But in truth, it's gone as soon as there is no hearing anymore. So life is not permanent. Everyone knows one just lives from day to day, from moment to moment, from birth to death. But what about before death? Right now, there is seeing. But seeing now is not seeing yesterday or seeing tomorrow. It's just right now, so very short, and then gone. Otherwise, what is seen can be taken for the cup or the chair or someone at all. If it is just only one moment of experiencing that which is seen as just a dot, very tiny dot, just learn to understand the truth which is there all the time in life, to begin to understand what is there in truth. In truth, see, learn to understand a reality. For example, seeing is real, so it's a reality, but we take it for I or someone sees. But in truth, seeing cannot belong to anyone at all. If we don't mind or think about the shape and form of dog and cat and snake, it's not the dog sees, the cat sees. Seeing is seeing. It can be just seeing. So seeing is not a human being or a cat or dog. Seeing is seeing. Is that true? Just be true to the truth little by little. It does not hurt anyone. It's so very precious to understand the truth. Even its sadness, it's a reality. Even its so very delighted moment, it's a reality, not permanent, all gone. just be there so very shortly and then gone. But it's taken for someone of the story of many, many people and things all the time. But in truth, they are only seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. Just begin to understand what is true, what is real, what is the ultimate truth to understand life. Better to understand the truth rather than no understanding of anything which is now appearing at all, never understanding it when we don't talk about it. If we don't talk about seeing, can there be the understanding of the reality of seeing, the nature, the ultimate truth of seeing? It cannot be someone or something, but it's a reality. Why is a reality? It's real. The seeing now is so real. But if it does not arise at all, there can never be seeing. So any moment of seeing, it arises to see. Begin to understand the word about every moment. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, liking, understanding, attachment, aversion. What are they? They are real. They cannot be mixed. They cannot arise together in a moment at all. But what are they in a moment? If there's no enlightenment of the enlightened one, no one knows the difference between seeing and that which is seen. This morning, up to now, is there any understanding of seeing? That seeing in the morning is not seeing right now at all. Can anyone make seeing arise? It has a reason already. Beyond the thought of someone can make it arise, or it is arising now at will, impossible. So learn to understand the truth, the way it is, the way each moment is, the way life is, not permanent moment, not even one permanent moment, because each moment arises and gone instantly. Is that true? Just begin to understand what is true in life, what are there in life. Otherwise, it's not a reality. It's someone, a baby, my son, my friend, my house. But in truth, without seeing, hearing, thinking, can there be any idea of what which is experienced shortly and gone? Because the arising and falling away is so very, very rapidly, beyond expectation, just one dot. Just close your eyes. What appears now, disappear instantly. Instantly, not just one by one. But as soon as the eyes open, all are there as usual. How come? Just by open up the eyes. See what is real and what is not real. There must be seeing. But seeing can see just only that which impinged on the eye base. How tiny it is. Imagine or considering when we say a dot or a dust. See, it appears as a dust. So it means that not just only one very tiny reality, much more than that, which can be seen. Because no matter what, it's very short. It can be cut off, shorter than that. The whole body can be cut off. See, broken up. What is there left? Hardness. And as soon as we take it for a bone, It's something more than just the one tiniest reality impinge on the eye or at moment of touching. That's why so many things, so many reality, so much to learn about the truth of just one reality, the characteristic, the function, the appearance, the conditions for what arises just only one reality. The eye is not the seeing. That which is seen is not anything at all. So consider again closer and closer. What is seen is just what we say color. Is that right? No matter where and when, what is seen is that which can be seen. And we use the term like color, visible object. But no matter what we use, it's that which is seen. Just different colors arising and falling away so very rapidly. So what appears by way of nimitta, a sign or a mark of something short or long. See, just one color cannot be taken for chair, shoes, or anything at all, but many different colors. And seeing sees it, and the other ultimate reality arising together with seeing marks it, remember it as shape and form of something. Now, is that right? Seeing just see, arising, experiencing only that which impinges on the eye base, and the other reality arising together, just mark and remember only that which is seen. But what is seen arises and falls away so very rapidly, and the reality which marks and remembers arising with each moment of citta, the chief of experiencing. So we learn about the ultimate truth, the hidden truth. If we don't talk about it, how can there be the understanding, the moment of remembering? See, it's not seeing. Attachment, it's not aversion. No I, no one. Is it true? Just begin to understand what is that in life. If we don't talk about it, it cannot be known. So what we are talking about is true or not. Touching the head on and on to the toe. What appears? Just hardness or softness, heat or cold. Is it true?
And John, Ajahn is explaining that it may not have occurred to us that seeing and hearing are different experiences, and also smelling, tasting, and experiencing through the body sense. We take them as being just a part of a general experience by us, but they are different realities. They have different characteristics. Ajahn is emphasizing that seeing experience is only the visible, and hearing experience is only what is audible, and these cannot be switched around or changed. But that makes them different kinds of experiencing. They have in common that they are an experiencing, but each has its own particular field of experiencing, and they can be separately understood and recognized. At the moment, they are not necessarily separately appreciated. They're just part of a general overall experiencing of the world, we'll say. But they can be known separately. experiencing through the body sense can occur on any part of the body, the outer skin or internally also. But wherever it occurs, it has the same characteristic. It's the same reality, the experiencing. And what is experienced is not objects, just like we say what is seen or heard is not the idea we have of people and things or music. It is just the visible for seeing and the audible for hearing, and for experiencing through the body sense just hardness or softness, temperature, heat or cold, and motion. And this again is just part of having a better appreciation of the reality of the present moment of life. Life is all these different experiences happening by conditions, but within the same stream of consciousness that is the particular individual.
Thanks, John.
And
A lot.
And Alan, I don't know if you're able to speak now. I'd like Alan to just say a few words to you, John, because Alan's always looking for friends in the United Kingdom. Alan is an old friend I've known since school days, so longer than anyone else. He knows all my family well. So Alan also comes from a science background like Robert too. So I don't know if you have anything you would like to say to John, Alan, that may be helpful.
Yeah, hi John. Yeah, I live in London. I don't know anything about you because I've only just joined the conversation because I had to go out earlier on, so I don't know where you are or anything.
So I'm a friend of John and Sarah's from Australia. I lived there for a few years, and yeah, we're great friends from swimming and different activities in Manly. I live down the road, down the M4 now in Cardiff, so
oh right, you're quite away.
a few hours down the road. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, if you're ever down this way, yeah, you get in contact with me and we can meet up and have a chat. It'd be nice to see you.
Yeah, I've got loads of friends in London, so that'd be great. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah. Just let me know when you're coming down. I'm pretty free because I'm retired, so I'm usually around most of the time. So
Super.
yeah, good to see you. Yeah. So
Nice
how
to
long
meet you.
have you been interested in Buddhism a long time, or you're just picking it up lately?
No, a long time to be honest. So I guess I started exploring it a bit with Sarah and John again. This would have been maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe. And always been interested in sort of the difference, and I guess tying back to this, the scientific side of it, the difference between realities and your interpretation of them, and how much one informs the other. And that if you can, I was about to say, control your interpretation of something, and maybe in control is the wrong word, because I know that's what you're trying to get, or what one is trying to get away from in a sense, but that your perception of things is everything essentially. It's not the reality of what you see, it's your perception that controls everything, and that in turn can even then be reflected in sort of hard scientific measurable variables, like the pathways in your brain, and the sort of how established different neurons are and things. So just that idea that if you have more insight and in turn can regulate those responses or those interpretations, it means it matters more than any other sort of material things, and basically is.
So what's your background in science? What speciality do you come from in science?
An anaesthetist.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I regard it's basically like a different lens, a different perspective on the world. So science has its object is always thinking about ideas, whereas Buddhism is thinking about ideas in order to understand the realities. So, for example, in science, you have heat is the kinetic energy of the molecules. Well, that's thinking about heat, but heat is a reality which can be directly experienced through the body sense. So science really, it's the domain of science, it's thinking, it's the sort of story of the world, whereas Buddhism is about realities of the world, but there is thinking in Buddhism, but it's really concerned with getting to know the realities. So these two have different domains of understanding completely. Science domain is not about the realities of the present moment at all. So even the great scientists like Darwin or Einstein would have zero understanding of the nature of reality. What they do understand is concepts about the world. So these are quite different domains of understanding. And when we think about evidence-based science, we say science is based on evidence. Well, of course, that evidence comes from what is seen, what is heard, what is touched. So there are realities which inform that evidence, and that is what Buddhism gets to know. So I remember Jonathan pointing out once, and it was a really one phrase, but it was so important, and that he said that there's no word in the English language for what is seen. And that indicates to me that scientists has no understanding of what is seen by virtue of their science. And Ajahn has just been talking about that what is seen is not someone or somebody, but all the words we use, they're all about something which is seen. So this is quite new. And of course, we know that science is based on what is seen because the evidence comes from what is seen, but actually what is seen is not understood by science. So really these two are very separate domains of understanding. So what is necessary, science can't really help you with the understanding of realities. So you can reflect about it, but it is a different domain of understanding.
And just to build on what Alan has just said, John, the Buddhism is all about what can be directly experienced and known, whereas obviously science is about what can be thought about. And he said the story he gave the example of heat, for example. There is a scientific explanation of heat, which has its own relevance and usefulness. But heat itself is something that is directly experienced through the body sense, and what is experienced to eye consciousness is visible data rather than people and things, just as what is experienced to the ear consciousness is audible data or sound. We have a name for that, but it may not correspond exactly to our idea of sound, but it's audible data, which when experienced is then interpreted by the mind, by thinking processes that follow the moments of experience into words spoken, voice of the speaker, etc., or music and that sort of thing. But in that respect, every moment of say hearing, experiencing audible data, sound, is the same moment, are the same realities. The consciousness that experiences and the object that's experienced are the same, regardless of whether it's what's heard is in conventional terms someone speaking or an orchestra playing. Thanks.
I've just seen I think Robert asking whether there's a Pali word for what is seen. I can't really answer that at the moment. Is there a Pali word for the object which is seen?
Yeah, different words are used. One is rupa, the same as the reality that's not Dhamma, but rupa is also used to explain, to refer to the visible object.
So nothing specific for visible object.
Usually the word rupa ramana is the Pali word for it.
Or as Zita just said, vana, which is color or what is visible. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And before we get to kind of too much down that track, I just want to ask Carmen, because Carmen just heard today about hung and she said she found your explanation helpful in a note. Carmen, the discussion we've been having about what is true and the reality now, does it seem relevant and helpful when we hear about the passing away of a dear friend? Do you have any comments to make?
Let me think if I have comments. Not really. Just one sentence I wrote down. Life is in a moment. And that's what Ajahn said. And that's, I think, a good remember of, being in this present moment. And that's all there is. Yeah.
And it's this moment now. If there's no
Yes.
thinking about hung now, where is hung? If there's no thinking about science now, where is science? So it's always back to this moment. And that was the point that Ajahn was stressing right from the start. So no matter how life goes, no matter whether there's great sadness or great joy, seeing or hearing, it's always now. It's always back to this moment and understanding now. And at that moment, no disturbance at all, at moments of understanding.
Yeah, that's beautiful and good to keep in mind. Yes.
There is
Yeah.
a sutta where, and I can't remember the sutta, but it's one. The son died in the field, and the whole family comment was, "He went the way he had to go." And I thought of that this afternoon regarding hung. But I can't remember the sutta. Sorry.
That's beautiful.
It's a Jataka, the Uraga Jataka. The snake, Yaraga means snake, the story of the snake. And the Buddha in a previous life was a farmer. And one day while he was working in the field with his son was stung by a snake and died. And he just covered the body to a tree, covered it with a cloak, not weeping, and just carried on, but ordered only one parcel of food to be sent home for lunch rather than the two. And he said, yes, what comes by conditions without being asked for, and no lamenting can touch the ashes, so why grieve? He went the way he had to go. And one by one, all the family members add their comments. The wife says, children cry for what they've lost, trying to grasp the moon. And meanwhile, mortals all die, but friends and family can't touch the ashes, so why cry? He went the way he had to go. And each member of the family adds their comments. But I also find, like Azita, it's so helpful. Life carries on. The farmer carried on with his work. The wife carried on with her cooking. The maid carried on with her duties. Life goes on. It's part of life. The grieving just hurts one, tortures one more and more, causes more and more problems, more and more disturbances. And for those who have passed away, like Hung, they would be happy if we were to know we were smiling and having Dhamma discussion, just like we would wish everyone to be cheerful and have Dharma discussion. So, so many good reminders. Yes, thanks, Azita. I'll put the name of the Jataka in the notes.
Thank you. That's great.
And Kunmeta, I'm sure it's been a difficult time for you. So, because you spent so much time with Hung as well. So our sympathies, and I'm sure the Dharma reminders have been very helpful. I don't know if there's anything you would like to say. It may not be convenient for you to speak now. Hello, Kunmeta. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. So we kept Tanajan always remind us. You see, first when I know that, it's quite shock, and then the words that Tanajan give us to understand the truth. We always think and live the truth here. We don't consider the truth here right now, and we think about story and the situation all the times. Anyway, among all akusala arise, the right understanding arise instead of akusala citta. Yeah, that's all. The words of the Buddha always remind me. Yeah, thank you.
The kusala citta, the wholesome, the skillful states of mind, and I appreciated so much all your help for Hung, driving her to the foundation for all the discussions and the good friendship. So helping and having Dhamma discussions and supporting each other when we can is so beneficial. So back to this moment, Ajahn, would you like to add any further comments?
So, where's Hang now? See, just talk about her. But in truth, there's no Hang. There's Hang only in memory, thinking about her. But in truth, what is Hang? Nothing can be taken for Hang or anyone at all. So it's just the way it is, Dhammata. What is there is conditioned to arise and fall away instantly. Is that not death? Exactly the same, never to arise again. But in truth, when we use the term momentary death, any moment now, just arise and fall away. There's no harm. See, in truth, there's no harm. So when there is the understanding of reality that it's just a moment of seeing, hearing, before being born as hang, where's hang? Not hang at all. There seemed to be hang. The one was born to be hang. But in truth, what is taken for hang is only different realities, exactly the same. If we don't call it hang, we call it suchin. See, the same reality. The reality which arises, experience the object, not at will, but by conditions, and gone forever, never to arise again. So the understanding of the truth does not hurt at all, because it understands the ultimate truth. What is taken for a chair, for a hand, for this or that are only different conditioned realities. That's all. Never be the same at all. Even years and years and years and go up to now. Never be the same. What is there now arises and falls away, never to arise again. No matter in this life, next life, or other life, no more. Never arise again. Like death, momentarily death. See? So we take the last moment of that which is conditioned or taken for hang, the last moment gone, the next moment instantly arise. No more hang. But still, there must be conditioned reality, the same as the moment of birth of this life. What was before the moment of birth of this life? See, death. And then now. So no hang, no matter this world or any world. But there are different realities conditioned to go on, keep on, arising and falling away by conditions until the condition to be this person ended. Nevermore, just even one single moment. And next life, begin again. So where's hang? See, no more hang, only someone not hung as before in this as hung in this life. That's all. But there must be seeing again, hearing again, on and on and on, with the idea of someone, until there is the understanding of the truth. There is no one, no atta, no thing, no something at all. It's just a moment of what condition to arise to be. The reality which experiences the object, or the reality which cannot experience the object. That's all. Is that true? No one can change the way Dhamma is. It's there by conditions. As soon as it has arisen, it's gone. Each moment, depending on it's the life of one karma, conditioned from the first moment of life, the birth moment, and ended up at last moment. Nobody can change the way it is at all. It's time to end. The karma cannot condition its result no more at all. That's why it ends up the condition of one karma, which condition that life to be this or that, as we say, hang or someone. That's all. Or adhamas. Not any one condition dharma lasts. As soon as it has arisen, it's gone instantly. No matter we call it seeing or death or birth. Is that true? Does anyone cry for the moment of seeing gone right now, never to arise again? Momentary death, kanika morana.
Just to explain briefly for John or those who are not familiar with the term, we learn about three kinds of death in the Buddha's teachings. One is the conventional death that we're used to thinking about, the samuti marana. It's the death at the end of this life. So we say Hung has died or this person has passed away. This is the conventional death. The second kind of death, which Ajahn is just talking about, is the momentary death, kanika marana. Actually, at each moment in life, there is death. The seeing now rises, falls away instantly, dead, never to return. Hearing now arises and falls away. So actually, there is death at each moment in life. We think of the conventional death, the end of life, as being so important, but actually, just like now, one moment of consciousness follows another. And just like the moment of consciousness now dies and is followed by the next one, so at the end of life, the last moment of life, the death consciousness arises and falls away, followed by the next one, or by conditions, the next one conditioned by a new karma. And this helps to understand that actually there is death now. There can be understanding of death at this moment. We think of this person dying, but actually that no person in reality, just different moments of consciousness arising and falling away by different conditions. Some kinds of consciousness that we've been talking about, like seeing and hearing, are what we call result moments of consciousness, the result of karma, death consciousness. As Ajahn said, when it's time for karma to bring its result, it arises. It's also a result of karma, the birth consciousness, also the result. Other moments of consciousness, such as the thinking with sadness, the thinking with understanding, these moments of consciousness are cause, they're not result. They are habitual tendencies that develop. If they are strong enough, they can bring results later. For example, if the anger is so strong that one goes and speaks very harshly or attacks something or takes something not belonging to one or kills an animal in the way, then it is strong enough, it can bring results later. But basically, different kinds of consciousness, some are cause, some are result, but death at each moment. And the third kind of death we don't need to be concerned about is the final death of the fully enlightened one. All defilements, all anger, all ignorance is being completely eradicated and no more life after that. That's the end. And the Buddha taught that actually each moment of life is unsatisfactory because it's impermanent. The seeing now is unsatisfactory because it arises and falls away. The hearing, the sadness, the pleasure, the goodness, the badness, whatever arises is unsatisfactory. So the final death is to be rejoiced in, not to be sad about. But anyway, what Ajahn was talking about was the momentary death now. And if there is the understanding of life now and the momentary death now, then there is understanding of what it is like at the end of life, because it's just another moment. We think it's something that is so special. But for the one we knew as hung, just another moment of experiencing, another moment of passing away, another moment of birth consciousness, new life, new experiences, new seeing, new hearing. So while we grieve, life goes on.
Thanks, Sarah. That idea and that insight of death is happening actually in every moment is very powerful, isn't it? And it does help to then adjust to things such as that, passings.
And this is actually the true death, because it is the death now, because actually there's just this moment. So this is the absolute death, the karnika, the momentary death at this moment, as opposed to the conventional death. So it is helpful to understand that actually there's death now. While we think and dream and so concerned about the conventional death, what about understanding death now? Yeah.
Very powerful. Thank you.
So, what is the moment after death? There must be a moment after one moment after one moment. So, when the moment of death is gone, what is the next moment after death? Instantly, just like now. What arises and falls away, it conditions the next moment, on and on and on. So after death moment, what is there? Nothing or what? The first moment of life, new life, is that right? Happy birthday. See? So why there will be sad moment for happy birthday?
Yes, Ajahn, that's right.
Yeah, see? So now, happy birthday, gone for Han, right?
Yes.
How many days, or according to what condition to arise in the new life? Just like now. So, while someone say happy birthday, someone cry, see losing a dear friend, and so on. But in truth, nothing which has gone can arise again, even right now, depending on what we call, whether it's not the conventional death yet, but it is temporary death for sure, never to arise again. So the moment of death is just one moment only, like each reality right now, just one moment at a time and gone, followed by next moment, life, birth, happy birthday, after what? Crying, cry for whom? No one. New one, new personality, new person is there already. See, so it's useless to cry, to be sad, because Buddha said, what type of citta is there at moment of being sad? Akusala, dosa, unpleasant feeling. Shall we collect it on and on again and again to condition more moment of sadness later? See, the understanding saves one from ignorance and akusala, unwholesome moment. If there is crying for harm, why not crying for seeing the last scene which is gone now? See, exactly the same. A reality arises to experience the object through one of the six doorways, that's all, and gone. If there is no condition to think about it, it cannot be moment of thinking about Han. Today, how many moments thinking about Han? There must be other moments thinking about other things, not Han. See? So understanding the benefit of wholesome moment is better than no understanding of the truth. What is gone is gone. That which arises and gone instantly, can it be something or someone? Not at all. This is the way to understand Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Whatever is real is Dhamma. It has its own characteristic, its own function, its own manifestation, its proper conditions for its arising. See, never be the same at all. Eon and eon and eons ago, only once in samsara, different by conditions. If there's no understanding of the truth, there can be condition for unwholesome moment, attachment, aversion, so on, all kinds of akusala. But when there is right understanding of the truth, what is there is not permanent, depending on conditions. When it is the akusala, the bad cause, the unwholesome cause, can it condition the pleasant result? impossible. That's why learn about each reality, whether it is the cause or the result. And even unwholesomeness, there must be different, not only one. Attachment, is it wholesome or non-attachment? See, what is better? Never been caught in anything which appears to be so pleasant, because it's gone for sure, never to arise again. The understanding condition more wholesome thought, wholesome deeds, wholesome speech. That's why Buddha realized the truth. In truth, there are only different conditioned realities arising and falling away. Citta, Cittasika, Rupa, and also Nibbana, which there no condition for to arise at all. The end of conditions to arise. Learn little by little to understand what is there in life, because there are many different realities in a day unknown. As soon as one wakes up, who wakes up? See, it is asva, very slight attachment, unknown attachment, no word, but it's there already. I wake up. Who stand up? See, all day, taking what is there by conditions for I and someone and something all day. So what is true and what is not true? What is real and what is not real? What is wholesome and what is not wholesome? Is ignorance better than understanding? Never. Understanding the truth, understanding that life is not permanent. And what is life? No one at all. Only a conditioned reality. Each is different by conditions.
Sorry, Ajahn. Sometimes I don't really understand about Sanya because, like, for example, like Hang passed away. For some people, her picture like pop up again and again. Yeah, like or like a fresh picture. Yeah, this is because when they saw Hang or when they live with her, the Sanya memory, the copy it, and for the later object of thinking, or because Sanya like memory pass from one chitta to another, like Anusaya. I'm not sure because some picture sometimes it pop up as the object of thinking again and again that we can hardly forget it.
If we don't use the word sanya, is that Kunsara
Sanya,
or Kunjarathan?
no.
Really, really, who's there? Kunsara or Kunjarathan? See, be true. What is there? Kunsara or Kunjarathan? No idea at all. Or as soon as that which is seen, is Kunsara seen or Kunjan seen? Because memory marks
But
remember.
at that moment, is the memory as the object, or
What is
it's a
seen? What is seen? See, just what is seen is known. That is the memory of that which has been seen before. So it's a reality which marks and remember the object of seeing, hearing, smelling. Any moment citta arises, experience the object. Sanya is that just marks and remembers the sign, the shape, the form. Looking at the looking glass, who's there? Looking at the mirror, who's there? Who's there?
Kunsara
No, no, in the mirror,
in the
looking.
mirror.
Yang.
Is
Myself.
there?
No,
Is the
sir.
mirror now? It's you, it's me, is that right? No one,
Yeah.
it's I. But in truth, is it I on the
No.
screen, or it's just the color and the remembering marks and remember it from time to time of experiencing it? It marks and remembers. So very subtle, taking it for someone or something all day. That's why sanya, memory, a reality which arises to remember, to mark the object to be known, arises with citta each moment. That's why we learn about different characteristics of realities. For example, citta is not cetasika. So the word citta represents a reality which experiences the object clearly, just the object, the very, very small thing with different color, black and white, different, dark or light, pink. See, citta is that which experience clearly, just experience the object so clear, while the other reality which experiences the same object arising together performs its own function, not the function of the citta, which is the chief of experiences the object. That's why we learn about one reality at a time. We can learn about citta in by different aspects, different manners to understand the way it is, ayatana or khanda or little by little, to understand the truth. What is it? Citta cannot be any other reality because it just arises to experience the object clearly. That's all. And citta cannot arise alone. Whatever arises, arises with its conditions. They condition each other. Learn little by little about what is there at moment of seeing. That is the citta as the chief of experiencing. The chief of experiencing means that there are other realities which experience the object, but not the chief of experiencing. So they are different. The one which experiences the object clearly is citta, only one reality, and the other conditioned reality to arise to experience the object has its own characteristic and its own function. For example, as soon as citta experiences the object, what kind of feeling is there? There must be feeling towards that object, but it does not appear to be known. So now, what kind of feeling is there? When it does not appear, when it does not appear, it cannot be known. But sadness, unpleasant feeling appears, right? Hearing about such and such story, hunang and so on, condition such kind of feeling, unpleasant feeling to the degree of so sad, a kind of reality which arises with the citta which experience the object. The word is heard about the story of Kun Hang, what happened to her, and on and on. That's why in a moment there are only different realities conditioned to be such reality and perform its function to remember or to feel. Each reality, which is the reality which experiences the object, has its own function because it is different from the other. Feeling is different from memory. See? So they are all Dhamma, different Dhammas. The more understanding of the more understanding of Dhamma, the more wearing away of ignorance and attachment and the idea of self. So very gradually, so subtly, it's not known how much is wear of now.
But Ajahn,
I think
sometimes
Liang, I think we can continue next time with this topic. Just in brief, John, what Ajahn is referring to is how the moments of consciousness, we mentioned the temporary death, so a moment of consciousness at each moment. The Pali word is citta. So each citta is a moment of consciousness, and it has to be accompanied by at least 7 mental factors. So the feeling is a mental factor, the memory is a mental factor, the anger is a mental factor, the attachment is a mental factor. So different mental factors arise with the cittas, but we can discuss in more detail next time. So
Thank you, Sarah.
yeah, otherwise we get lost in the Pali terms again, Liang. That's why Jan was saying we don't need to use the term because it's about understanding now, especially for newcomers. So thank you very much, Jan. We can continue with these topics next time.
ค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ everyone.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you.